Portuñol, mañañol, acá conmigo. Itañol. Dale.
Mình nói nhóm nào?
Ok, ahora sí. English.
Tiếng Liệt qua bên đây.
Sammy. Inglés se va con Sammy. Ok.
Chia ra.
English, Spanish.
Đó, mình bên đây thì có hướng dẫn người ta nói tiếng Anh. Còn bên kia thì họ nói tiếng Spanish, tiếng Tây Ban Nha. Chia ra làm hai nhóm.
So let's take advantage of the map because they just changed it. On Sunday the president was here, so no, Sunday no, the 3rd of September. They closed this place, no? The 1st of September, well, sometime. He came, so they put a new one because it was all ruined, the other one. We're here, right? Yes. This is the northern part. This is what we're going to visit. This is El Castillo there, the ball court, and this. The three temples, the main temples that we're going to see. There is a wire that we cannot pass beyond. The same with this one. There is a wire. We can enter into this one, but we cannot climb or anything. Yes? Now, there is a path that takes you to the Rosario. This is the tomb of the priest. And then it takes you to what is open. This section, what is the astronomical observatory. That you do on your own. Yes? This is the astronomical observatory. It's a round building. It is not as restored as this one. It's collapsed, yes. Much smaller than this construction. But in case you want to walk, I can point out exactly where. It's about 25 minutes round trip to get to the observatory, yes. And there is a south section that we don't have an access to it, not just yet. It's about 3 kilometers. So from here to here, altogether, it's roughly 20 square miles of temples and constructions. Hundreds of them, yes? But the major ones, the bigger ones are right here. See, those are the impressive ones, like the big pyramid we're gonna get see, yes? This is very humid today. Not as humid as another days because the sun is not out. But if there is a very strong humidity and you feel a little dizzy, yes? The other day I had a couple of girls and one of them, she was 20, and I thought she was hitting on me because she came very close to me and she's whispered in my ear, yeah, you look like Antonio Banderas. And I said, you gotta be kidding me, no? And she fainted. What it happens is she was hallucinating because she had a heat stroke, yes? So if you any chances think that I am an artist or a famous person, you are hallucinating, please let me know so I can send you to the ambulance. The ambulance will come here just in a short while, and then you can get treated there, yeah? In case you feel a little dizzy or whatever, just don't take for granted, okay? All right, let's start. Vámonos.
Đây là cảnh buôn bán của người dân bản địa ở đây. Đây là những người còn sót lại của bộ tộc Mayan. Họ cũng sinh hoạt và buôn bán những cái mặt hàng lưu niệm ở đây để mưu sinh. Cuộc sống cũng giản dị. Bộ tộc đã từng tồn tại hơn 2.000 năm trước. Đây là những gì còn sót lại. Thành trì đồ sộ ha. Nếu như mà ở Ai Cập thì là nơi đó là an nghỉ của các vị vua pharaoh, thì nơi đây là nơi diễn ra những cái lễ tế.
Temples, the constructions. Actually, it's not circular. No, this is for easy teaching. But it had a wall around. All the Mayan cities had walls around for protection, partially. The main reason was to separate classes, low class and high class. Yes, but the walls were made out of stone, not wood. so they prevail. We still have remains of them, and they have been restored partially, some of them too. Yes? So we know that inside is where the temples are and the houses of the elite, which were made out of stone. How many? How much is the percentage? 10 to 12% of the total population. If there were 1,000 people, well, 120 will live within the walls. Yes? High class, elite. Who are they? Astronomers, mathematicians, the priests, the leaders, the collectors of the taxes, the carvers, the painters, small brush paintings, the carvers, yes? The artists, the musicians, the dancers, the warriors, yeah? That's the elite. Of course, they had a better nourishment, better food supply. Lower classes would normally eat corn, squash, and beans, rarely meat. Yes, so that will rule their life expectancy. That will rule. If you have no proteins in your brain, you go into school and you can learn only certain amount, and that's proven by the scientists. You know, if you only eat corn, squash, and beans, you become a little apathetic. You don't care about why, but you don't care. You care about how am I gonna do it? Yes, and you be taught about it. You have to have a foreman to check all your work. Yes, that, like I said, is being proven scientifically by doctors or whatever. Okay, so the second people that live outside the walls, it's called the middle classes, and they are the foremen, the supervisors, the merchants, yes, and then they are the liaison between the high class and the low classes. The low class is the core of the population. We're talking about 65% of the total population. And middle classes and low classes live in thatch roof homes, yes? So when the scientists discovered these ruins or these cities, they only speculate what was the population the number, see? By the houses. That's about it, yes? Okay? So now we have the next layer is the farm fields. This is important because you have to allocate certain amount of acreage, yes, to work this year. The topsoil is very thin. If you keep on working this field every year, you kill the soil, yes? And this is governed by the amount of proteins the corn will have the opportunity to get, yes? So if you have, for example, if you have too many times you work in the same field, the corn starts shrinking, yes? To get very small, not good for food or anything, yes? So certain amount. You next year you go to the next field, huh? Number 1 year, number 2 year, second year, third year, fourth year, etc., etc. You come back 7th year after one, yes, and then you restart the cycle, allowing the soil to regain its properties, yes, because the peninsula of Yucatan has very thin soil. We don't have rivers or lakes in the surface. We're depending upon the rainy season to irrigate the fields. So this is really important, extremely important. This is a farming city. And then outside here you have the hunting grounds and everything else, yes? So if this one is 20 miles, this one would have been 200 miles square, yes? The whole city. Now, if you have too many people growing, there is no way you're gonna expand. Why? Because you have neighbors here. You have neighbors. Every area is covered with people, surrounded. So if you have growth of the population, like it happened to Chichen Itza, there is no way you can expand. And the only way you could do it is by fighting with your neighbors, yes? And that's what it caused the collapse of Chichen Itza. Chichen Itza was founded in the 500 AD, yes? And around 1200, they abandoned the site, and this is what it was left with. The jungle covered over the buildings. See? Total collapse. of the civilization. They totally blown. There was a long period of that. There was a lot of other depletion of the natural resources. Let me tell you why. When you build a temple like this, you require massive amount of quarries. Yes? Quarries to get stone, because the stone is the same ground we have, limestone. That's the formation of the peninsula. You don't have to go far away. You just build quarries. At the very beginning, the quarries were far away, yeah, in the hunting grounds. One there, one over here, and that's about it. You don't need that much, but you need for hunting, for collecting honey, chewing gum, yes, and many other things. Wild fruits and hunting deers and wild boars, yes? But suddenly, because you are becoming obsessed with building temples, then the quarries are everywhere, yes? Not only on that, but closer to the people itself, right? So when you have that quarries, you cannot plant anything. And when you cut many trees to build temples like that, well, you have no condensation, so there is no rain. It's long periods of drought, yes? And that will eventually force you to abandon the site. Depletion of the natural resources, long periods of drought, wars with your neighbors, then you abandon the site. 500, the foundation of Chichen Itza, yes? Are we clear in this?
Yeah.
Second, the first group that arrived, we know their name, yes? They arrived and built the first buildings, and among them is the inside first construction, 580. The name of the group, Chenes, yes? The dynasty that ruled Chichen Itza in the very beginning. 80 years later, a group with more warriors, they conquered those groups and built the second construction. Only 80 years later. They were really feisty. They were warriors, and they stayed for a little bit longer because they could prevail. Yes, the last group stayed about 400 years, and then it came the last dynasty that ruled Chichen Itza, and it's called Itza, right? Mayas had no king of the Mayas. They were autonomous rulers, autonomous dynasties. Yes, so when the Spanish came and tried to conquer them all at once, like the Aztecs, they couldn't, because the Aztecs, they have one king. You conquer the king and you conquer them all. You know what I'm saying? But in the Mayas, wasn't that way. The Mayas, it was hard. Yeah, you conquer one land, and as soon as you move, the other group is already revolting back into fighting. Yes. So that's why the peninsula of Yucatan was not even conquered until the middle of the 16th century. Either way. Now, the building is not hollow, yes? It's totally solid, stone on top of a stone. Buildings use as a foundation for the next construction on the top. All right? So when the archaeologists came and they found all these abandoned, then they have a way to restore, and after restoration they could find the evidences about the buildings. For example, this building, it's been restored in 1921 to 1936. They restored the site, yes, and then they have cheated a little bit the scientists, because as you can see, the main facade was no missing stones, yes. When you have trees growing on top of the buildings, the trees are breaking the stones beyond repair. So when the scientists came and restored, there are a lot of gaps in the facades, in the stairways, in the walls on the top, yes? So they decide, are we going to make a new stones? No, because it's going to look fake, yes? Are we going to create the new ones? Of course not. What are we going to do? They say, all right, we have 4 facades. Let's take 2 facades as used as a repair, yes? Refactions, I don't know how you call that. Eh? You took those stones from there to build totally the north and the west. This is west and that's north. So if you go around the pyramid in the south or in the east, it's totally ruined, yes? Because of the stones used from there taken. You know what I'm saying? Yeah? Are you able to understand my English? Perfect. Okay. So, after restoration, of course, then they know that the building we're going to study, they discover interesting facts. First, the Maya believe they are in the middle ground. This is the middle ground, yes? The underworld has 4 steps down to the lower, and then 4 steps coming back to the surface, yes? So you have nine paradises occupied by 9 gods.
Này.
One of them, the god of war, the goddess of suicide, the god of death, yes?
Chính.
The father of the underworld, yeah? And then up here, the Mayas believe there are 6 on the top and 6 steps. Just pretend that we have 6 steps, yes? A total of 6 and 6 plus 1, 13. 13 from above in the heaven, 9 from below in the heaven below, yes? We don't believe there is hell. We don't believe there is a devil. The Spanish influence with Catholic religion and Catholicism was very strong, telling us that there is a hell, and in hell there is the devil, and we should be good because otherwise we're going to hell. Yes? For the ancient Mayas didn't. Hell is not existent. The underground is heaven, and you, whether you're really bad with society, you will have an opportunity to purge your soul, and then you're going to heavens to get wisdom, and then to return to this world, hoping that you're going to be a good person, and eventually you will pass to the next stage of life. Yes? What is this next stage of life? Then you become part of a god, right? So you reincarnate. You have not accomplished your goal, you reincarnate again. You have not accomplished your goal, being good, you reincarnate again for the love of God. Yes, until you learn and your soul gets old and says, okay, I'm good now. And the God says, yes, you're good, you can come with me, and you are part of me. You are part of a corn, you are part of the sun, you are part of the rain, some of the gods. Yes? Or the underworld, it didn't matter because it's still good. Yes? So now, when we look at the building, the building is made and formed with something interesting. Yes? The first platform, the second platform, yes? It's like a cake, no? What is the total number of platforms? Can you count them? 9. How many goes from the underworld? 9. So what they are trying to do, and this is speculative, the Maya symbolizing the underworld connecting with the superworld. Yes? Now, nobody has written anything about that. The archaeologists just have the evidences to show and to prove that it could be good. So it's a speculation, yes? But still, now you have 4 stairways, and every stairway has 91 steps, and you add them all up, it's 364, yes? 13 times 28, how much is that? 13, you have a computer? You have a calculator?
364.
How much is it?
364.
364.
365.
Every step has every stairway has 91 steps. 91 times 4, it's
364.
364. Yes, 364. Bingo. Yes. 364. You see how the Mayas were able to play with mathematics to try to create something that is so important, equilibrium in the universe. When we go in there and see the game is being played, it's just a struggle between the life and death. It's a struggle between the day and the night. But the purpose is to present an equilibrium to the universe. Yes? The Chinese call it yin yang. The Mayas call it eagle and a jaguar. See? Eagles from heavens above, jaguars from the underworld, also snakes from the underworld. All right? So that's what this building is all about, is creating that. This is not a place for sacrifices. This is not a place, this is just rituals. Yeah, rituals, part of a ceremony. The name of the building, the temple of Kukulkan. Do you
Kukulkan.
remember the name of the main street in Cancun? Kukulkan.
Kukulkan.
Can snake.
Can is
Kukul is a bird. The bird. I'm going to show you the bird. You probably
Bird.
never seen
Kukul
it.
bird.
Probably you have. This is the kukul. Yeah.
Kukulkan bird.
How do you call it in more common words? Familiar? Quetzal. Yes. This is not very well known bird. Why? Because there is not a single bird in captivity. This bird is just like a freedom. If you capture the bird and put it on a cage, he will kill himself. Yes? This is known as the bird of freedom. Cannot stand captivity. It's called Quetzal. Yes? For the Mayas, because they have known that, because they capture macos and parrots and they capture them and make them pets out of them, because when you have a pet and you go into the underworld, yes, the pet is going to turn with wings, with colorful, yes, and we call them alebrijes, and it's going to protect us, a soul that is going to come along with us. Did you ever saw Coco, the movie? No?
Yeah.
One of the dogs turns into the helper and develops wings, tiny little wings, and the other one is a cat and turns into a giant cat with wings and everything. Just because we believe our pets are going to help us in the underworld. Yes? So we capture animals in those times, macos and parrots and other Mexican dogs, and then you turn them into your own pets to help you go into the other world. Yes? So now what happened? What happened to the Quetzal? They captured them, but they couldn't say, oh, this could not be used as our soul helper. So this one is the helper of the gods. Every time, 21st of March, this bird chirps really loud, and he makes a sound that is so beautiful. We don't have them in the Yucatan because they are extinguished, but in Guatemala, in Honduras, in Costa Rica, in Chiapas, in Tabasco, we still have them. Yes, it's an endangered species, but when they sing, they are so loud. And you know when they sing? 21st of March, and then they develop long, the males, long feathers, and they fly making this motion. Yes. So the Mayas interpret that as a flying snake, so they call it Kukulkan. So the can part of Kukulkan means a snake. Yes? Cancun means a snake nest.
Yes,
So the name of the building, as a reference, not original, it's called Kukulkan Castle. Yes? And it comes into a place because the magic of Chichen Itza happens. And how is the magic of Chichen Itza? I have been in this place for 48 years as a tour guide, and I have seen so many things happening in my life. Yes? 2 days ago, somebody proposed to a girl, yes, in front of the pyramid, and she says no. Then, about a year ago, one guy proposed to her girlfriend, and she says yes, no. This is what I saw.
wow.
They were looking for me, aliens. Beat me up, Scotty. I was waiting to be lifted up, yes? And I was still with my hands, please take me home, because my wife, I can't stand her. No, just kidding. But yeah, no, wait, another one. I have another one. The building has so much energy. Can you see this? This is, I don't know how to trick the pictures. This is not something that I was able to forge. This is natural. This is natural. And like this, there are hundreds of photos, you know. With these alien ships, no. It's just the way the energy, it's the way the clouds are creating. All of this is natural. It's not strange, no. But one thing that happens, that we know that was for sure developed by the Mayas, twice a year, when the light of the sun goes down. The light of the sun hits the corner is like so, yes? The corner of the building is casted onto the wall and is facing north, and it looks like a body of a snake, yeah? That's
Snap.
the beauty of it. Every day, it's something like this.
Mặt trời đau
You see?
lặn xuống. Yeah.
Every day,
Thằng
it's
rắn.
something like this. But twice a year, look how it changes.
Wow.
And you see the snake
Thằng
shower?
rắn snap.
Yes. These occur twice a year. 21st of March and 21st of September, the beginning of the farming season and the harvest season. But this is none other than an easy way to manipulate the lower classes if you have the knowledge. You know what I'm saying? It's a magic being developed by architects. It's been developed by humans, not aliens. This was not built by aliens, despite of what you see. Huh? It has a flaw in the architecture. Can you see the flaw in the building? There is a mistake. It's shifted to the right, to your right. Can you see it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
I do.
It's not
Okay.
exactly in the center.
Yeah.
So it's a mistake
No.
in the architecture design. Yes? Can you see it or no?
Yeah, I see it.
So it looks like that. Why? Because the main facade is northbound, and when they built it, they have no podium for the king, so they have to back up the wall, so they have plenty of room for the king to perform his rituals. Yes? This building, remember, was built in 980. Huh? So when the snake happens, it's a unique event, the beginning and the end. There is another thing that also is unique. When you look at the stairway looks perfectly parallel. Yes, it looks like so. Huh? You know what happened? Into our brain perception of depth. Our brain gives us perception of depth, but making us look the things smaller at the end. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You stand up on the road, and the road looks like so. Yes? Huh? Exactly. So in order to make it look parallel, they have to build it like this way. The step on the top is wider than, I'm exaggerating of course, this is wider on the top, narrower on the bottom. And I have noticed that because I always was wondering, why does it look that way? Because when we used to climb all the way to the top and you look down to the steps, it looks tiny little one. So it creates going down the other effect, yes? So that's why people start shooking up. They start getting very afraid, and they start coming down on their bum because they saw the thing very small at the end, because that effect and the brain creates. You know what I'm saying? The visual effects. So this is very beautiful. Mayas were able to create visual effect to the pyramid, just thinking it's going to look nicer. Yeah? Go figure. So Mayas are an extreme. In one hand, they have an excellent calendar. In another hand, they practice human sacrifices and all. Yes?
So the only part that we could enter is upstairs.
It's upstairs. Everything was seen. It's not a
Yes.
game. Yes, it looks like a game, but in reality, this was a ritual. Yes? What was the ritual consist of? You hit a rubber ball that weighs 7.5 to 8 pounds. You have paddings on the elbow, paddings on the hip, on the knee, on the shoe. You have sticks like hockey. You have a racket like a highlight. And then the purpose is to pass the ball through the hoops. Can you see the hoops? The hoops is 21 feet high.
Wow.
They
How?
couldn't hold the ball. They couldn't throw it. It has to be hit. That's as far as we know. Yes? Now we know for sure that this represents the Milky Way. This represents the stars, the heavens, yes, at night. So every player will represent a constellation, yeah? We talk about on the bus, how many constellations they have discovered lately? 13.
13.
Yes? So if you have 7 players playing here, 7 the other one, and they go at it, at the end of the game, they cut the head off of one of them, how many players will you end up with?
13.
13.
13.
Yes? So that means each one of them representing the constellation.
But how
Right.
would they choose which player to cut off their heads?
That's something that we don't know. Nobody knows, but let me tell you a couple of things. In the well of the sacrifices, we encounter a bunch of skeletons. Skeletons, that means, and all of the skulls are elongated. What does it mean? When you are very baby, being born, your mother places your head with two boards in the front, in the back, and slowly your head is going to get cone shaped like, yes? And that is a symbol of beauty. Other places in the world, in China, they bind the feet of the girls. Long time ago now. I don't think they do it anymore. Or Japan, no? So the feet of the girls don't grow. In Africa, they put rings on their necks to make them look beautiful. Today, what do you do for beauty? Piercing everywhere. Tattoos everywhere. Yes? They shape your teeth so they look nice and even. Yes? For the ancient Mayas, that was a beauty. So that means you are high class. That means you are an honor being sacrificed. Yes? So if you follow that direction, the person who they sacrificed, it could have been the winner, Capitan, or the winner, older player. You know what I'm saying? We don't know which one was sacrificed, one of them.
What class plays these games? Is it third class, the first class? The
No,
first
players?
class?
Third class.
Yes, yeah, they were first class
The
players.
first
Third
class.
class.
Yes, of course.
So the ones inside the gates.
Yes.
How
Yes.
do-
High class.
High class.
Come.
First class.
Look, with my iPhone 23, look, what do you see there?
A man.
A face of a person, yes?
Elongated head.
He has helmet, headdresses, and over here is decoration in their color, but he has paddings on his elbow, his knee, no, his hips, his knee is padded, the shoe is padded, can you see?
Yes.
And he has a box on the right hand. This is a box. Now come to this way. Come closer to the end. Now I lost my, right here. Now look at the seventh player. He's kneeling down. Can you see? Yes. Now can I get my pointer? Gracias. Look, he's kneeling down. Knee on the ground,
Kneeling down.
but he has no head. Can you see?
Yes. And he's kneeling on the left knee.
His left knee, exactly. And look, squirts of blood that turn into snakes. No feathers. The feather serpent is Kukulkan, feather serpent man. This is just representing phallic symbol. Phallic means fertility. Don't ask me anything else because I don't know what phallic means. Over here we have the seventh player of the other team, and he's holding a knife on the right hand. He's holding the one they just decapitated. Look at the head. Dripping blood. Yeah, fertilizing the flowers and all. Yes? So that means that person is not going to die useless. That person is going to live in the spiritual world and is going to bring wealth to the living.
And he's going to come
And
back
he's going to come back
after 52
in
years.
the next time.
52 years.
52 years, 13 years,
When the
depending,
stars align.
depending on the stars align, then he will return. Yes?
Yes.
All right? Now, how often do you go on the 5 feet tall?
No.
Yeah, he's on the 5 feet. Not often.
Not often.
And they,
So those buildings are the best. And the walls, then you can stand up on top. Yes. Homero. All right? Any questions? Shall
I
we go
don't
to
see
the
any
last one?
horses. They didn't use horses then?
Say what?
No horses?
No, no horses. Mayans don't have no horses. The horses came with the Spanish. Horses and cows and donkeys. Early times, they didn't have horses. However, we know that maybe 80,000 before Christ were a little bit there. Can you hear the echo?
That's the
Yeah.
bird?
Flap.
That's the bird, exactly. That's the bird.
The bird.
That's the bird. But the echo is not a fluke, it's not an accident. It's being designed with that purpose. Yes? You hear? You hear?
Yeah.
Acoustic.
Âm thanh nó vọng lại.
Yeah? You hear that?
Khi mà mình vỗ tay thì âm thanh nó vọng lại.
It's unique. Look at the reclining man on top of that pyramid. Let's go to the shade.
Âm thanh nó vọng lại. Và cũng đó là chính là âm thanh mà khi mà ngày xưa bộ tộc người Maya đó, họ đã tạo cái tiếng này để mà kêu gọi thần dân quay về chỗ này để làm lễ tới thần.
You set those on fire to get the ashes. Ashes fertilize the soil, yes? And then the next 13 days, you start looking for the thicker soil with a big stick like this until you find the thickest. You bury the seeds, yes? That's for the next. So the total is 3 sets of 13. If you start the 21st of March, you're going to end up the 3rd of May. That's the beginning of the rainy season. Yes? So the plants are ready, the seeds are ready for the rain to come. Yes?
Yes.
All right. You notice that big building I show you? This is the way it would look like. Yes, I'm going to show you. Just give me a moment. This one. Look. This is the painting of that building.
Colorful.
So it had paints, it had a roof on top of the columns square and on top of the round ones over there. The round ones, archaeologists just as a reference, the round columns, they call it 1,000 columns, temple. I have counted them myself. I was very curious when I was very young because you could get enter anywhere. So I start counting them and I will put stones, to reference perfectly. I counted 435, but they call it 1,000. Why? Because they wanted to make a reference easy. Instead of saying 435 columns temple, they say 1,000, yes? Well, inside they found paintings on the murals, yes, like so. But let me show you the most amazing one. Is this one. See? This is the painting being found inside, original. What it shows a warrior that is being captured.
Yes.
The person is lying down. They pull the length of the hands are pushed. The stone will expose the rib cage. Then third person will make a little incision. We cut the heart, the arteries, we get the heart still alive and beating. Figure something out. The type of material they use is called obsidian. Are you familiar with the obsidian? It's lava from a volcano. Yes? Now let's make a little point. When the lava comes out, it's red. When it's exposed very quickly to a change of temperature, cold, it turns into a black stone. Yes? When somebody's blood is spilled, when the blood dries, it looks black. Yes? Comes out red, turns out black. Yeah? So they thought the obsidian is the blood of the Mother Earth given to us. So you can make knives, spear points, arrow points. You can make the object to watch the star with. Yeah, I wanted to show you. Maybe we go here, I'll show you. I'll show you how to watch the star with this particular tool. Perdón. Bexa, I want to show you.
Yeah.
Yes. You'll burn it, no?
Yeah.
So now do this. With this close to your eye, the other one perfectly close. Look at the sun right there. Yes? Do try that. But try the way I'm telling you because you're going to hurt your eyes if you don't do it the way I'm telling you. Close your eye, very close, and look at the sun. Yes? Yeah?
Look at it. Close one eye.
It's,
Nó mình nhìn thấy
and
mặt
you know
trời.
something interesting? You could use like a welder glass to weld your things. Yes,
Một
very
con nhắm
similar.
lại.
You
Còn
can
cái con anh
see-
mở á là anh mới để cái này lên. Mở á. Nhắm một con, mở một con nào mở thì để cái đó bên qua.
And the other
Thấy
one,
thấy mặt trời chứ.
close one eye, close the other one. Don't open the one. It's gonna get burnt.
Look at it now. Look at the sun.
You see what I'm saying?
Can you see?
If you have the knowledge, if you have the tools, you could do anything. You can control the people easily. These are tools used for that. Préstame la cuchilla. Okay, everybody saw that? All right, now I'm going to show you one more thing. I'm going to show you the knife.
Đó, mình nhắm một con mắt và mình để cái cục đá đó lên mắt còn lại. Mình thấy cái mặt trời trên kia rõ.
You finished? Muy bien. ¿Cuántos nerizos que tenemos que faltan por ahí algunos? All right. Now, look. This is obsidian. Obsidian is the sharpest object in the universe. Sharper than the scalpel. Steel. At microscopic level, the obsidian is smooth. You know at microscopic how it looks the steel? Yes? But the obsidian is... So now doesn't have a sharpness. Because if I go like this, I will cut myself. Yes? But it's so simple. Could you hang on to this one? Hang on strong.
Oh, very sharp.
And this is, try to break
Wow.
it with other knife, and it's impossible, yes? So that means, even though it's dull, it's easy to cut, right? So when you are lying down and somebody gets that, and they get your heart, and your heart is placed on the belly of that man, you have accomplished the ceremony, because the soul is going to connect to heavens above. Yes? How about that? So the temple of the warriors for taking the heart out. The temple of the bull cord to cut the head off. And in the well of the sacrifices, with that path to the south, to the north, it takes you to the well of the sacrifice. Yes? You are going to see something like so. In case you want to go see it, of course, it's not obligatory, not mandatory. This is why Chichen Itza looks, or it's named Chichen Itza. The mouth of the well of the magicians of the water. It refers to the edge of the well. Mouth, edge. Well, water. Yes? Magicians of water, the name of the dynasty that rules in that time. So to get to that one, you have to walk 15 minutes round trip. 15 minutes from there and back. Yes? If you want to go to the observatory, south, 25 minutes round trip. If you're going to go to that place, 5 minutes round trip. The exit, you see the radio antenna over there? That's the exit, yes? That's where we came. If you want to see the toilets maybe before, there is a green building. You see where the trees with the green leaves over there?